Hello everyone and welcome back to the last deck dive of 2023. And we're going in and end the year with my favorite division in the whole game, Berlin Command. A division that has fallen out of favor a bit again, but I still really like it. And yeah, we're gonna have a look into how I use it and what kind of stuff I bring with it. Once more, let me know down below what you think of it, as always, as we start in the supply tab, where we have a lot of 20-point supplies here. Obviously, the style of this division is that it gets all from France, America, and the UK mixed. So you have two 20-point supplies here, and then the classic British 35 point supply with 1000 supplies, which you want to use for the artillery, whilst the others you use on the front line for resupplying the infantry, which needs resupplying in this deck because your infantry is rather valuable in this division, and that's also its somewhat weakness at the moment, as infantry is not quite as decisive as it had been in previous patches, and the infantry in this division also has been nerfed slightly in the past, though it's still quite strong. And this for sure is the strength of this division, and you still can use it like you used to back in the day, and it still can function on the right map. And yeah, we start here with Milan 1s and Milan 2s. Milan 1s, you need some anti-vehicle in this deck, so bringing both out here allows you to afford some nice cheap long range if against the decks with the weaker armor, where the Milan 1 is just enough, and then the Milan 2 is when you need to kill something for real, and there you can bring those in. The rifles are really good all-around infantry. Two weapons, two long-range weapons here, assault rifles. 8 hit points is decent, and the Law is a fantastic anti-tank rocket launcher, even though Hippie does push his British propaganda of the Law being the weakest of the long-range ones. That's not true. It has good rate of fire, it has good range, unlike the Panzerfaust 3, and the penetration of 20 is still a really strong one. And the Berlin Light Rifles here, it still one-shots every IV out there. Berlin Light Rifles are a bit of the heart of this division, still are, even though they got nerfed a bit back at when they were cheaper, and you could even get a third card. They were absolutely insane, but they're still really good. The RCL still gives you good fire support against infantry and vehicles, and that allows these guys to really be the backbone of any push. 10 hit points, good firepower here as well with two M2 49. They are pretty good as well. Superflam give you the edge in CQC against most divisions, as the flamethrower in the really short range fights are still really nice. So these guys are pretty helpful still as well. And then Polizeireserve are what you want to put in front of all these infantry units, because they are your cheap mass spam that you just want to put out there and use to hold the line with. So that's why I take two of these. There are a couple of other cheap spam options here as well, but none of them tank as well as the Polizeireserve. Engineer's Dragons might be somewhat worthwhile as well, but we have enough ATGMs, and then we have all of these for anti-tank as well. So I go with the Polizeireserve, and I think they are a really good mix in there, just to have a meat shield in front of your more valuable units. Artillery, you get some decent-ish options as well. I stay with all armored here. The M109s can deal some good damage. The VAB is really great for smoking off and staying mobile, helping your infantry to push. And then Tank Tap is a solid mix as well. As you don't have any IFVs, I take the AMX-13 as my kinda IFV kind of vehicle. You could take the Rarden as well, but the Rarden is heavily overpriced at the moment in my eyes. So, and the AMX-13, now that it is a good bit cheaper, with its high rate of fire of 12 rounds per minute, which is the highest of any tank, can do some damage. So obviously range is low, accuracy is pretty low as well, but yeah, it can help out with its HE thanks to its high rate of fire and so on. So I kind of like it for that. You want to use it as an IV kind of vehicle, though, as with the mortal armor, it can't take hits really. That's where your M1 IPs and your chieftains come in. MX-30 also for the support fire there can be mixed in with the other twos quite nicely as well, as they are pretty cheap and they can do their job well. We have more CVs here to do the job, and obviously here two more CVs that I missed out earlier, so we got 6 CVs in this deck. Recon tab, get some Alouette recon helicopters here. They do a decent job. don't like the SA car too much, unfortunately. The BSG at the moment is not that strong, and they don't have any AT capabilities. So the PSEB though is still quite nice. The all the good traits up here with Special Forces, Shock, they get TNT and they get an 84 especially. The MP5 is also still the best SMG, so that is really helpful as well. And we take them in UEs here to get them into some early places where an 84 holding the ground can give you a bit of room before your rest of your forces arrive onto the battlefield. So they can be nice there. AA is not great, but also not that bad actually. As Mistral is a really good manpad. Pivot is really cost efficient for its cost. The TRM 2000 now can be used early on to stop helicopter pushes as well. And the Stinger is a good manpad as well. Obviously no long range here, but the Mistral, Stinger, and Pivots and the TRM 2000s do their job pretty well, especially against helicopters, but they also, if you get them in decent enough numbers, do their job against airplanes that fly over them. They will text them as well. Helicopter, because the rocket's really helpful in the early game to kill off one or two important infantry units of the enemy, and they're so cheap. And the Halarm is a quick and reliable anti-tank helicopter, though the ITO a bit low on AP, which is a bit frustrating for this deck, as you really lack high-level AP a bit in this deck. You get the Milan 2s over here, which is your highest, and yeah, the tank rocket launchers are with the law are quite nice as well, but your tanks don't have the absolute highest penetration, and yeah, your helicopters and planes also don't do super much damage there. With the planes being two Nighthawks, I absolutely adore these guys. And then a Harrier AA and a Harrier HE. Harrier HE over the rocket because of the two extra AM9Ls that you get on this one that can help out in a pinch against enemy planes as well. And yeah, the bombs can be used against tanks and against infantry. They are not the greatest bombs, but they are still doing their damage, and as it's a dive bomber, it does a decent amount of damage. The rocket obviously launches a bit earlier, so it doesn't have to go as deep. It's its one advantage when it comes to ground attack damage. Cluster obviously hits tanks a bit harder, but isn't an all-round weapon, so it's a bit annoying there. So that's why we take the HE Harrier here. And yeah, that is the deck. That is my Berlin command. I really enjoy this deck to this day. The rifle Berlin, the light rifle combo here, because of the police Reserve in front, can push really nicely. I enjoy the MX-13, even though it's still a bit off from where it needs to be. But yeah, in general, a decent little vehicle as well. Yeah, all these guys going quite well as well. AA pretty decent too. So yeah, an all-around solid deck. Far from greatness. I don't believe it will ever be super great again because it has a good amount of weaknesses, but it for sure should do a decent job. Or whatever you're playing against. And in ranked, I really enjoyed. And yep, I hope to see you in the next one where we're gonna play this, and then we're gonna have an end of the year video on the 31st, where we'll also go a bit into the next year. And I'm trying to get you guys the top artillery piece video out as well. Sorry for the long delay there, guys. I know a good couple of you have waited for it. And yeah, then we're also gonna come to the community list. Really sorry for the lack of content over the last couple of weeks, but we will get along there again. Even though January will be a bit low there as well, because I will be traveling there. But yeah, plans are there for 2024, guys. I'm not gonna go anywhere. In fact, I will try to level it all up, as you can see now, with higher quality resolutions and all that stuff. The rest should follow suit as well. I'm planning on that at least. And yeah, leave me a like down below to support me on that. And I hope to see you all next time, guys, over here. Bye, and have a great day.